Nerdcast assemble! Stay dandy, baby. The next chapter of the Boruto manga series is finally here, and I know you guys are excited for this one, as Amato of the Kara organization has defected to Konoha Village to reveal a lot of juicy intel about the mysterious organization. And to top it all off, the cherry on top of the kick-ass sundae is that Kashin Koji is about to begin his epic battle with the leader of Kara, Jigen. So let me go ahead and just throw this out there right now. I loved and hated this chapter of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. Why did I hate it? That's because a lot of the information that we actually get from Amato in this chapter is stuff that we already knew before. This is basically just the beginning of the major intel that he's going to give to Naruto and Konoha Village. Now, the characters themselves didn't necessarily know all of these details, but they're things that we, the viewer, have actually known about for quite some time. What the Otsutsuki clan really does, how they come to these planets, and they have these giant trees grow and suck up all the juices of the planet before giving them a nice big old hunk of juicy chakra fruit, allowing them to basically stay immortal and super powerful, and they're crazy alien beings, blah 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 blah. It's basically the Tree of Might from Dragon Ball Z. That's literally what's going on here. That's all the information that Amato decides to give to Naruto Shippuden and everybody else who is listening to his big lesson. But even Amato himself reveals that this is kind of just the beginning of everything. So get comfy, make some popcorn. I got a lot more to tell you, especially about the fact that, you know, the Otsutsuki clan is always been known as the Celestial Invaders, but they also seem to have the ability to just randomly create these 10-tailed creatures. And to me, this is kind of confusing, and maybe you guys can sort of elaborate a little bit more on this in the comments section below. But to my understanding, the original 10 tails that we saw in the Naruto series was literally a combination of Kaguya and the God Tree, but in this chapter, they make it seem as if these 10 tails creatures are kind of like the seeds themselves of the actual divine trees. Like, they're actually what become the giant god trees in a sense. And maybe that's really what happened, is that Kaguya was quite literally combining herself with this and was just sort of a part of the will of the massive 10-tailed creature. I don't know. I think it's kind of strange how it actually all ends up working at the end of the day. But again, like I said, this is not exactly new information to people in the series. The only real big new stuff is we get to see that Amato has actually been planting a lot of this information specifically for Sasuke to find, who reveals a lot more about some of the other details in this episode, like the fact that Jigen himself isn't Otsutsuki, but he was originally a human who has been taken over by another Otsutsuki. That's one of the other big details in this chapter. It's all connected to the karma, the weird ceiling thing on Boruto's palm and everything. That's all well and good. So all the stuff with Amato in this chapter is, I have to say, okay information, but really it's just the beginning of a much larger conversation that's probably going to be elaborated on a little bit more maybe in the next chapter. But let's talk about Kashin Koji. Like, this is the part that I think most people have been waiting for, the thing that most of us have been interested in, because Kashin Koji finally has a sit down with Jigen, and they finally decided to start talking about everything that's been going on with his dealings in Konoha Village, how he hasn't brought back anything useful, and how he sort of revealed his true nature about the fact that he was created to kill Jigen. So this can be interpreted so many different ways. Like, when Kashin Koji reveals this for the first time to Jigen, he literally says, "I was created for the sole purpose of killing you." So the phrase, "I was created," we can go ahead and infer that quite possibly, since he's a collaborator with Amato, Kashin Koji himself could have actually been created. Like, he wasn't a real living being. He could be like a cyborg or a robot who was actually created by him. And you know what? I can actually buy this at this point. He might not actually be Jiraiya. He might actually be some sort of weird Jiraiya robot cyborg. Maybe that's why a lot of his, like, toads take the form of these sort of, like, technological versions compared to the ones that we've actually seen, the steam toads. They're quite literally steam robotic toads. Like, that's the way he's able to work and utilize all of these techniques. He's not actually utilizing them in a chakra sense. He's sort of emulating them through the use of ninja technology. Now, why that's actually going on, I have no idea, but still, it's interesting. But of course, the phrase, I was created for the sole purpose, could also mean something else entirely. It could be, something from a different point of view, so to speak. It could be, I was created to do a job. I was made to do something like this. It can be interpreted so many different ways, but the fact of the matter is, Kashin Koji and Amato are trying to take down Jigen and Kara for some reason. They're the ones who are responsible for taking down the blimp that was carrying Kawaki, and now they're trying to stop the organization at its absolute strongest point. So Kashin Koji immediately just sort of goes on the attack, which doesn't end up working, and he ends up getting stabbed from behind by freaking Jigen, like, multiple times with these black chakra rods, but of course this is a ninja battle, so everybody goes into a poof of smoke, revealing that they were actually somewhere else before the entire time, and Kashin Koji being the magician-like ninja that he is, this actually does kind of make perfect sense, and really this is just the beginning of their big epic battle, which is getting ready to take place. So, what's the rundown on this chapter of Boruto Naruto Next Generations? Like I said, a lot of information that we already knew, especially about the Otsutsuki, how they're these parasitic alien beings from other worlds that go to planets to suck up their juice and eat fruit. That's kind of like their entire deal. That's what the Otsutsuki are. We've already sort of known all of that stuff, but there are smaller details and things in this chapter that I really like. One, Shikamaru is pissed in this chapter, and honestly, I can't blame him. He's really angry at Amato. I mean, his son is being held captive and has a giant explosive collar on. Of course, he's going to get a little upset here. It's good to see Shikamaru exert a little bit of emotion, as he always manages to suppress that a number of times in this series. Also, I really love that a lot of this stuff, while we know it, it's interesting to see these characters react to it for the very first time, as I honestly thought that with all the research that Sasuke's been doing and over the years, they learned a little bit more about the Otsutsuki and what they were truly doing, and maybe could have inferred what was going on with the big event with Kaguya, what truly their real motive was. But again, a lot of this seems like information that they're learning for the very first time. I think the thing about this chapter, which is sort of an extension of the last one, is we're still trying to learn why exactly Amato and Kashin Koji are teaming up in the first place, and why they wanted to get away from Kara. Whether they just realized that they were evil people and they don't want to be involved with them in the first place. They're interesting characters, to say the least. I mean, Amato seems really interesting in a sense that he was the one who really helped bolster the strength of this organization, while also sort of creating some of them in the process. We already know that Delta is a cyborg and was almost certainly created by him, and Kashin Koji could very well be the same. And the way that they just continue to mess with us by trying to make us think that he's Jiraiya, like, we've already seen that he has some sort of weird markings under his mask, which are damn near the same as Jiraiya's, I mean, the fact that he uses toads and everything throughout this chapter, he's using this toad which is able to relay information in real time, kind of like a camera, to everyone in Konoha Village. They're actually watching all of this through this hologram, which comes from Amato's glasses. This big confrontation between Kashin Koji and Jigen, which, man, like I said, this is probably the most hyped battle of the Boruto series thus far. I just want to know so much more about Kashin Koji, and hopefully we'll get to actually see his true identity soon, because that kind of stuff just drives me insane. Like, going back to the original Naruto manga series, waiting for the reveal of Tobi to be Obito was just mind-numbing. Like, and it took years for that to happen. I really don't want them to jerk us off anymore. I really want to see what the deal is with Kashin Koji and get an answer as to who he truly is, how he was created, so to speak, by Amato. There's just so many questions about what's really going on here, but really it looks like it's about to lead to a really awesome battle, and it's great. I mean, if anything, a cyborg Jiraiya I think would be pretty freaking awesome. Maybe even a younger version of him in his prime. Like, there's just so much promise for what's actually going to happen next year. So, a lot of old information, a little bit of new information, and the promise of a big epic battle. That's what made this chapter so exciting. And even with that, even with me not exactly loving it, I loved it all for those final details at the end of this chapter, which is exactly why I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. I loved a lot of the major details of this chapter. I love anything that involves Kashin Koji, and that's exactly why I love this chapter. Amato is a really cool character too, not taking any shit from like the strongest ninja in Konoha Village. You can tell this guy is really like proud and sort of realizes that his technology has the ability to trump all of this chakra stuff. Basically what I'm trying to say is that Amato's confidence is what truly makes him an interesting character. It's not too often that you see like these mad scientist characters that are able to sort of back themselves up in a really badass fashion. They always end up sort of being like the minions of the stronger villain, and Amato here is just chilling his ass off while making these guys look like fools. And that's what makes him kind of an interesting character. But come on, man. Jigen versus Kashin Koji. That's exciting shit right there. What's not to get excited about that? That's my thoughts on this chapter. I definitely want to hear from you guys. What did you think about this one? The big information about the Otsutsuki clan who are planning on doing the same story of Dragon Ball Z, the Tree of Might. I know it's not exactly that, but what did you like learning a little bit more about that stuff? And what about Kashin Koji and Jigen? Like, that's really the crux of this video right here, and the things that I want to hear from you guys in the conversation. Any theories as to truly what's going on here, if he really was created as like a cyborg type weapon, or it was all just a metaphor for something else. Is he Jiraiya? Is he not Jiraiya? What do you hope to see in this battle in the future of Boruto, Naruto Next Generations? Let's discuss all of it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. And if you guys really want to help the channel out, please hit that like button and check out my Patreon in the description box below. A little bit goes a long way, and if you guys donate $1 or more, I will do an anime review of your choice. So thank you guys. Make sure to subscribe for more. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.